56 WHBQ Memphis and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up.
I'm not the voice of the Tigers. I'm Jay Morgan Harder. I'm with Zach Boy, Rack City Zach on Twitter. I love that. And that's a great handle, by the way.
I would love to be the voice of the Tigers.
I would love to be the voice of the Tigers. Speaking of the voice of the Tigers, I mean, maybe we should start with the Grizzlies, Zach. But first of all, with the Tigers, is Memphis a football school now? I mean, this stadium, we're playing with the big boys now, aren't we?
I love the stadium, man.
So what they say, 150 million, 200 million they're pumping into it. How would you describe it? It's like, it looks like an NFL stadium. They got these blue lights on the outside of it. I don't know how. I'm not doing it justice, I don't think.
No, I think what you described when I showed you the rendering, it was like how the not the LA Coliseum,
yeah,
but
the new Rams Stadium,
SoFi Stadium. How it kind of looks,
Mm-hmm.
except SoFi is a indoor stadium, but it has sort of like that almost futuristic type of feel with the halo and like the different lights and everything. Like, I mean, it looks really nice.
It really does. That's the vibe they're giving off. It's like a Coliseum look. It looks nice. And obviously it's artist rendering, so maybe it looks a little bit nicer than it will if it's actual like concrete or whatever. But going in the right direction, man, I'm really excited about it. But that's not even the big news of the day, I don't think. I think the big news is that the Grizz stay alive. Dominant victory last night. For all intents and purposes, let's just say a 50-point win, Zach. 50-point win, is that fair? They were up by 51 point, right?
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, at some point during that game, I was like, okay, like I know we're up big, but how? Like I'm looking at like how I'm kind of calculating myself in my head, and I'm like, yo, we up 50. Like,
okay,
what?
so be honest. In the third quarter, were you like, okay, I can relax a little bit now, I can go to bed, or were you like, man, this would be the worst blow of a 50-point lead? This would be the only 50-point blow of a lead in the history of basketball.
In my mind,
Back of your head.
I was like, all right, this third quarter, come on, take care of business. Let's not let them linger around.
Don't rest on your laurels.
Yeah. But once they kind of grab a hold of that third quarter, because they scored 47 to like
42 to 17.
Yeah,
in the third quarter.
Yeah. So once that happened, I'm like, okay, we're cool. Like we can put in the third stringers and we'll be all right.
That was crazy to see, honestly, how early. Not only the Grizzlies, because they're up by a lot, but the Warriors go to their bench early, too. Kuminga played the whole fourth quarter. It seemed like Damian Lee played the whole fourth quarter, which I guess is good. You want to rest and everything. Chuck said after the game, you heard what Chuck said after the game.
Chuck's been talking a lot, man.
He said that the Warriors were throwing this game, giving it away so they could go win at home. Your thoughts, Zach, on that comment?
Yeah, no.
No, that's not what's happening?
No, because the thing about the playoffs is that you want to maximize as many opportunities as you can.
Yeah.
And
what if you get rest for however long you can get it for if you win that game?
Right, and considering that the Suns and the Mavericks are possibly going 7, so it's like, yeah, like it makes sense for you to like close this thing out on the road so you can have possible rest. Maybe, just maybe, everybody is not hurt. I mean, we'll see about Otto Porter's injury.
Yeah, that's big time.
Yeah, and so we'll see about that. But I mean, like in the playoffs, you got to maximize your opportunities.
You got to, no doubt.
And the Warriors didn't, man. Like the start, like that first quarter was kind of like a seesawing battle. It was like, okay, like
a little bit back and forth.
A little bit back and forth. The Grizzlies had a pretty early lead, but it wasn't as big.
No, but the shots were falling early.
Shots were falling. The defense was starting to find its groove early. And then all of a sudden it just, I mean, like it.
The door opened.
Out like a light, man. Out like a light. And that was it. Like the Warriors couldn't make nothing.
No.
The Grizzlies perimeter defense, which I've been on since the start of the playoffs.
Saying it wasn't good enough? or it's been great.
It wasn't good enough.
It hadn't been good enough.
Like during the regular season, the Grizzlies' perimeter defense was like really good.
One of the
That's
best
the
in the
reason,
league.
right? That was the reason why they were getting off to those quick starts and was blowing teams out in so many of those games. And to start the playoffs, and granted, like again, like it's a series, so teams will have multiple opportunities to kind of look at what you're doing defensively and poke holes at it.
Right.
But you was expecting a more deterrent effort, and like the playoffs, it wasn't like that. It was very on and off. But last night, it was definitely on, and the Warriors couldn't get anything to fall for 3 quarters.
Not only perimeter defense, though, but defense around the rim, and a huge part of finishing a defensive possession is getting the rebound.
Right.
And Steven Adams has been a huge part of that as well. He had 13 rebounds last night, 7 on defense, 6 on offense, so huge on second shots, too, which is another thing they've been missing, which we've all seen offensive rebounds have kind of been in a lap since he's been out. Imagine how much different this series could have been if it was game 1 and 2 that he's coming back from not playing in that Minnesota series versus games 3 and 4 where they insert him back in the lineup. I think it could be a series tie. It could be a whole different series, though, if Steven Adams plays all this series instead of missing the first 2 games.
It definitely could, but it also, again, with the games that he did not play in, the Grizzlies were still in the game.
Right.
They were still in, except for, well, I think early parts of the game 3, right before the Warriors kind of just flipped on a switch in the third quarter, the Grizzlies pretty much was in every single game.
That's right.
And that was without Steven Adams. Like granted, like game 1, you would have loved to have Steven Adams because those long rebounds were like killing the Grizzlies in game 1.
Defensive rebounds, but think about if he has 5 offensive rebounds in that game too. That's 5 more shots.
Exactly.
5 more shots.
Exactly.
To win.
And so, but I mean, this is just a testament to this team as a whole. Like you can lose Steven Adams and still be competitive. Like you can not have Ja as of right now for the foreseeable rest of the playoffs, and you can still be competitive without your key pieces.
What do you think that says? Because I think that's true. If you look at gambling, that was true in the Mavs' first series as well against the Jazz when they lose Luka. Jalen Brunson goes out there and scores 40 twice, right? And they're huge underdogs in these games. Oh, no Luka, the Mavs are going to get killed. Last night, what were the Grizzlies? The Grizzlies are home underdogs by like 4.5 points or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 point underdogs at home. I think it says something about how underrated good teams in the NBA are. A lot of people seem to think it's just one superstar. Not that the Grizzlies bench is the best in the league or the depth is the best in the league, but this is still a really good basketball team without John Morant.
Hey, they're 21-6 for a reason. They are a team that has figured out how to win without their guy.
That's right.
And
testament to the coach too, man.
Yeah, and again, like if you look around the NBA and if you're looking around at the different teams, like you could say like, oh man, like the Lakers, they can't win without their guys. Like you kept hearing it all
LeBron
year.
couldn't do it by himself.
Like LeBron couldn't do it by himself. Like KD was pretty much carrying the Nets until James Harden decided to give up and Kyrie was playing half of the time.
And then when KD was out, Kyrie had to pick up the slack and carry him by himself too.
Right. And so you're starting to see, and hopefully this will become a trend. Like, but you're starting to see teams kind of develop more into a team aspect. That's why
No doubt.
That's why you're starting to see more superstar duos than you are seeing with the big threes.
That's right.
You're starting
because you need to have that money to get other players that can help you out.
Right, and if you got the depth to go 10 deep, if you need to, you got the guys that you can count on to go 10 deep. Now, obviously, again, playoffs are a different animal. Like you need to tighten your rotation and probably play your best 8, maybe 9 players.
Yeah.
In each series, but if you can go 10, if you can go 11, when things kind of gets tight, when you're missing key guys, and you know the series is not playing to the strategy of how you kind of envision it,
right,
then you can rely on that depth, and that's what happened last night. The Grizzlies kind of relied on the guys that got them there, without Ja.
They really, they did.
they showed up.
Desmond Bain in particular showed up last night. 4-6 from 3. None of these numbers really blow you away, but it's because all these guys only had to play 23 minutes last night because none of them had to play the fourth quarter at all.
Yeah.
But still, 21 from Jaren, 21 from Tyus, and 21 from Desmond Bain, who you talked about hot start. I mean, he hit definitely one early three. He had like 5 or 7 points in the first 7 minutes of the game. He just hit all these shots, and it's good to see people talking about his back. I don't know how bad his back hurts. He certainly hadn't been right. Maybe that's because of some of the Warriors' defense. Maybe it's because of some of his back, but he certainly had it going last night, though, making shots.
Yeah, and it's definitely a good sign to see him kind of get it going early.
Yeah.
And I know he said it after the game that he's starting to feel like he's turning a corner on his injury. And if that's the case, and we all know not Dylan, we all know that Bain loves to go big on road games. If that's the case, Game 6 might be closer than what a lot of people think it will be.
No doubt. I mean, I think it'll be a close game regardless. They're not going to close them out in I hope not. At least hope not. They don't close them out in embarrassing fashion. And like you said, if Bain is right, that's who was doing the bulk of the scoring when Ja was out anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they've been missing. It's not just that Ja was out in that game 4. It's that Bain's also not right, and he was the one scoring 25, 28, 30 points when you needed him to in those games, taking big shots and making them.
Yeah, but also important.
And no Steven Adams, too.
And most importantly, because the thing is, like, in most of these games, in this series, like, the Grizzlies, they're getting to 100 points. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
Like, they're scoring 100 points.
Except for Game 4, but.
Yeah, Game 3. Game 3 was not ideal.
Yeah.
But, Game 4. Yeah, that was Game 4. Yeah, so they're scoring 100 points. So they can get points. They can find ways to manufacturing points.
Yeah.
It's just all about the defense, man. Like, if you can get some type of consistency these next 2 games. Well, obviously for us it's Game 6, but you need to win. You need to get to a Game 7 to win the series. But if you could get some type of consistency on the defensive end where you can replicate what you did in Game 5, you can very well come back from 3-1 and win this series.
Yeah. Honestly, defensively, you could replicate what you did in Game 5 and Game 4 for that matter. I excuse me, I get choked up thinking about the Grizzlies. No, I totally agree with you, though, defense being the key. I think it plays to the strength of the team, maybe the only strength of the team when you don't have Ja Morant on the floor because of all the things he does for you. Maybe finishes around the rim better than anybody in the league, certainly even gets to that point better than anybody in the league. But your one strength that you can maybe look to that you have without Ja is that you're all defense. You know what I'm saying? And that has to be your mindset when you're playing these games. Is that's the only you have to put your back on that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and that's what they've done these last 2 games as well.
To be honest with you, like even though the Grizzlies are a high flying, exciting offensive team, like they really make their money on the defensive end
because
they got to get in transition. Like,
yes,
and that's where the highlight plays are. Is when you get stops and you get out and you run.
And honestly, that's the difference in last night, I think, is the Grizzlies look different in terms of being the aggressor and enforcing their style of play on the Warriors rather than trying to match up. And I think you see it in transition. First of all, points off turnovers. The Grizzlies scored 29 of them last night, which is insane in the playoffs. It's also a reason why if the Warriors do beat the Grizzlies in this series, they ain't beating the Suns, turning over 18 times a game. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. But 29 points off turnovers for the Grizzlies, and they also won in transition 16-9 last night. That's the first time I think we've seen regular season Grizzlies offensive basketball where they're getting out and pushing. Even on made baskets, they're getting the ball out and going and pushing the ball before. I don't think we've seen that from them in the playoffs to this point, and I was glad to see it last night.
Yeah, and that was something that was kind of missing because almost like every single inbounds, there was always like a slow cross. And it's like
stopping it when you cross half court. No, we got to go, man.
Yeah, and it was like we need some pace.
Yes.
Like not like breakneck type of pace, like you're out of control, but it's like we need to put some oomph into it.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Put
a little extra oomph. And there weren't that much oomph in the playoffs, but they were finding ways to win because of that. But last night was definitely that. Like it got to the point where I don't know if you picked up on this like probably midway into the third quarter when they, I guess, starting to wave the white flag. It got into the point where I was like, all right, y'all, like, let's pack up some of these threes that we're making now. Like, let's
Save
just kind of, and let's just save them for game 6. Because at that point, we like in the third quarter, we was not missing. They were not missing.
I was playing both sides. Like, okay, we got to save some of these, but also I'm like, man, I do not want to be the team that blows the 50-point lead in the playoffs either. So it went both ways. All right, before we move on to something to the other series, who? If you had, maybe you can't pick one person, who were you most impressed by last night on the Grizzlies and why? Putting you on the spot. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question.
No, you wasn't.
I'll filibuster for a minute and give you my answer. I was impressed. This I kind of already gave it away too. I was most impressed by Desmond Bane because the last night I haven't seen him play offensively that way in the series. And it was just good to see it again. He's one of my favorite players on the team, if maybe my favorite player on the Grizzlies, honestly. I love his demeanor. I love how much he's grown. I think he can be an elite 2-guard in this league. The likes of which, like Klay Thompson-esque elite 2-guard in the league, I think that could be his ceiling. So I was impressed to see his offensive get going last night. All right, who were you most impressed by last night?
Last night,
it could be even someone on the other team. I don't care.
Yeah, but to the people that know me, especially my brothers in our personal group chat. I gotta give it to Jaren. Like Jaren kind of got the game off the right way, and start the game off in the deep post against Kuminga, getting an easy bucket. That's something that I wanted the Grizzlies to do the entire series.
Every time they start Kuminga and take him out and only play him 5
right.
minutes for the game,
yeah.
Let's go at him when he's on the floor.
Let's go at him. Like, and it's not only Kuminga. It's like Otto Porter. Like Damian Lee. Like, no.
Bones made of glass, Otto Porter.
No. Like, y'all not going to get away with playing small forwards and power forwards against our unicorn. Like, that's not happening. And last night, Jaren kind of set the tone on the inside. He was making a couple of shots. Some was kind of look crazy, but he knocked him down, and then that kind of carried over to him knocking down his 3-ball, and that was definitely important, especially early on, knocking on those 2 threes in that first quarter to kind of get it going. So like Jaren deserves, like, for me, he deserves some kudos to start that how he started a game for the team. And then kind of let that carry it over. Because at one point in that third quarter, I was like, man, just give the ball to Jaren just let him bomb away. Because, we was up with like 30-something. So it's like, what a few more 3-point shots for Jaren's going to do.
And he catches a lot of flack, too, honestly, by me as well. But he catches a lot of flack for the way he plays sometimes. But he stepped up last night just as much as Bane did, just as much as Tyus did. And without Ja out, too, this is one thing that I think I've come around on a little bit with Jaren. Sometimes I think he does take ill-advised shots. But without Ja on the floor, he's one of the few guys on the team now that you can give the ball in a one-on-one situation and expect him to go score by himself. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of guys on the Grizzlies right now. Tyus probably needs a ball screen. You know what I'm saying? Dylan Brooks certainly shoots a lot of those shots, but he hasn't been making a ton of them. Bane, but Bane's more in the flow of an offense. I guess he sometimes shoots off the dribble, but really the only guy that's taken somebody one-on-one, I think, on the floor is Jaren, and it's huge that he steps up in those situations.
And that was the biggest thing coming into this year. It's like, okay, Jaren, just kind of find your footing offensively, because I knew, like,
even on Draymond guarding him, he scored one-on-one.
He was still getting buckets. But I knew this season, like, all right, Jaren, this is going to be your first full year of playing, a full season of basketball. Like, kind of find your footing, kind of regain what you know, what you already know, and try to,
build
add on
what you got.
Yeah, because I knew.
Sane says he wants Jaren and Ja to get in a bunker, hunker down this summer, and get some workouts in, maybe get some weight on.
That would definitely help, because I think at times they do go tunnel vision sometimes and not look for Jaren. And you're going to need, like...
he just doesn't get shots in the flow of their breakdown offense. It's always like something called for Jaren where he gets his shots.
Yeah, and I think Drew Hill said it in the morning show with Greg and Eli, that Jaren is the most important player in this series. Because if they want to advance to the Western Conference Finals, Jaren has to be active. He has to be active early, and you can't neglect him at all. Like,
Well, it's important he gets going early, too. I
That
mean, it's
too.
the same thing. Him and Bane both, I think, getting going early.
Like not getting into foul trouble. Even
no,
though
that's big.
not getting into foul trouble, even though some of the fouls are kind of questionable.
He's been doing a good job in this series, though. I mean,
He-
honestly. For the most, don't you think? Or am I off with that?
No, because he's going up against power forwards and small forwards.
That's the difference.
Like the difference is against Minnesota, he had to go up against Cat. Cat is going to go downhill every single time because Cat is stronger and probably
Bigger.
a little bigger than Jaren, and Cat is going to get those calls
No doubt.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the Warriors, so they're a finesse team. So you got, like I said, Otto Porter, Kuminga, even Draymond. Sometimes Draymond don't even really look for his shot.
No.
He's looked to pass. But even with those guys, like you're not, he's not getting into foul. I mean, he
Right.
got into foul trouble that one game.
But it's
And he
not the
fouled
same.
out.
It's not the same kind of foul trouble. You know what
No,
I'm saying? It's not the same kind of thing.
It's not. It's not one of those head scratching like, oh, come on, Jaren. Like,
what are you doing?
we
How are
need
you fouling
Right.
him? Yeah.
Right. But he's not in foul trouble because the Warriors are a jump shooting perimeter team, so that it can allow him to stay on the court longer.
So
and then
mu-
you're just hoping that he doesn't get into foul trouble by making the wrong decision.
Right. So much so, I think to your point here, so much so, you can see evidence of that on the Grizzlies on offense too, because there's not a lot of times where Jaren is scoring, doing the bulk of his scoring, taking a guy one-on-one, catching the ball on the block.
Yeah.
Or the short corner, right? He's got Draymond on him, he's got whoever on him, and he's taking the ball to the basket. I think that, to your point on the defensive end too, that's not happening to him on the other end, and that's where he picks up a lot of fouls.
Like I'm excited to see what the offseason for Jaren is going to look like. Because I know he's going to
it's a
get
big-
better.
It's a big one too,
He has
man.
like he has no choice but to get better. And
Yeah.
like the fact that he's only 22 and he just coming back from a serious knee meniscus tear from a couple of years ago when they went down into the bubble.
Which changes last offseason for him considerably.
Yeah.
With that injury.
And so I'm really excited to see what the offseason is. Right now, I really don't care about the offseason because we still got Game 6 on Friday. But like
That's a
for
good point.
Jaren,
It's the first time he can build on a season totally in the offseason going into the next one.
because the only time that I could think about with Jaren that actually had him building from one season into another was probably his rookie year into his second year. And that's when he went on that like crazy run. Now that crazy run in January and in February and then also in the bubble before he got hurt. Like it was like when I witnessing that level of Jaren was like, okay, like we can win with this dude.
Mm-hmm.
We can win with this guy. Right now, he's trying to find his footing again. And I think going through the entire season pretty much was available for the entire season. And then also, having like one or two good you would like to have more good games
He
for
played
him.
almost every game.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Oh, but like one or two, right?
Yeah. And so for him to kind of get it close to either, 18 points, 10 boards. Last night he had like 21 points and 8 boards.
21 and 8, yeah.
Yeah. So
3 offensive too, dang.
yeah, so if you can for this playoff push, if you can get that similar production and maybe a little bit more, then that would be great. But off-season Jaren is what I'm excited about.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, no doubt. We're up against a break here. 2 more, I guess 1.5 more questions. Do you think the Warriors or Grizzlies win this next game in San Francisco?
Personally, I think the Grizzlies gonna win.
You think the Grizzlies win in San Francisco?
Okay.
Do you think
it's just this weird feeling?
Do you think the Grizzlies win the series? Do you think the Warriors do?
I said the Grizzlies gonna win in 6 because the Warriors they will jump shoot you back into a game. Like they would take.
Well, they got to win in 7 now, though. Right?
Yeah, of course they got to win in 7. But my
your prediction before the series?
Yeah, my prediction for the season was Grizz in 6 because the Warriors can shoot you back into the game.
Hey, and if anyone knows how to blow a 3-1 lead, it's the Warriors.
Hey, man, listen, man. Like, hey, if we're in special company, if we're
us and the Cavs, man.
if just us and the Cavs, man, it'll be special company.
Okay, so you think the Grizzlies win the series? Well, that takes away my next question because I was going to ask you something we talked about before the show. If the Warriors win the series, do you think they can beat the Suns or the Mavs?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
They can't. They turn the ball over too much.
No.
Wait, how much did they turn over? 22 times last night. It seems like, I could be wrong, but it seems like they turned it over like 17, 18 times at least in every game. I don't think that's actually right, but it's been a lot in a lot of games. You can't do that in the playoffs.
No,
this is not the old school Warriors.
And the difference, I'll say, like maybe the Mavs is probably the more susceptible team.
But they're so good at defense too. That's why I think if they turn the ball over like that, it's over.
They are, and obviously the bigs play a big factor. For the Suns, like if you're throwing out Aiden,
that's why
McGee,
they're going to beat the Mavs, honestly.
Biyombo, like
yeah.
that's, like you're not beating the Suns. You're not beating the Suns if that's the big man rotation that you're going up against. You're not doing that. Maybe the Mavs, because the Mavs are a jump shooting team as well, so you can kind of play with them a little bit.
And they got Powell at the 5, so it's not like they're banging with you with a big dude or anything like that.
Right. But much like the Grizzlies, when their perimeter defense is on, like the Mavs can shut you off.
That's right.
They can shut you off, and it can get real scary from a defensive standpoint. But I don't see the Warriors winning either. If they make it to the Western Conference, I don't see it.
After game 1, I said I think they're going to win the championship, and it only took me 3 games to change my mind. The Suns, though, like you said, have Ayton. And then they also have an MVP candidate, maybe. We'll talk about that later, with Booker. And then maybe the best point guard ever with Chris Paul. When we come back, we're going to talk more NBA, the other game that happened last night, and then we're going to talk about the other 2 series that are happening tonight. This is Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I love how Memphis loves golf, even city government. Overton Park is getting redone, Pine Hill is being completely renovated, and Fox Meadows is getting new greens. Public golf has never been better. There's a new app for your phone, Memphis Public Links, where you can make tee times, view special offers, get tournament information, find out the latest golf news, and virtually stay in touch. You can download it at the Apple App Store. There are several new golf tournaments this year, including the Mayor's Cup, and there will be a Player of the Year based on performances throughout the season. You can't beat Memphis golf. Galloway is in perfect shape. Audubon, right in the heart of the Poplar Corridor, is a true test of golf for any level of player. The city has invested in public golf like never before. So, if you haven't played a city course in a while, try it. I assure you, you're gonna love it. Memphis Public Links. I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I'm here with Kyle Storms from Big Green Egg. Kyle, I hear people all the time say how they love their Big Green Egg, but what makes a Big Green Egg so great?
Thanks, Stats. The fact that our grill is made out of the highest quality ceramic allows our customers to smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all while locking in the most amount of heat and flavor in their favorite foods.
What kind of fuel does the Big Green Egg use?
100% natural lumpwood charcoal. That's really where half our flavor comes from.
How many sizes does the Big Green Egg come in?
We have 7 different sizes and all different configurations ranging from metal stands, wood tables, and metal carts with a lifetime warranty. So we really do have a size and price point for everyone.
Where can someone go to see the entire lineup of Big Green Egg?
Garden Spas and Pool, Germantown Hardware, Hamilton's Fireplace and Grills, East Memphis Ace, and Cordova Ace Hardware.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want to ask you a question. Do you have any gift-giving occasions in May? Does somebody special have a birthday? Or maybe you have an anniversary this month that it would be very wise not to forget? Do you need to remember a hard-working graduate with a little present that tells them how proud you are of their achievement? Or maybe a Mother's Day gift for your mom or your wife, and you never go wrong with a gift for no reason at all. Just a gift that simply says, I love you. For over 37 years at Russell Brothers, we've been helping men out of their gift-giving dilemmas. Our A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, along with the beauty of our jewelry and our quality, value, and service. That's why our thousands of loyal customers have been coming to Russell Brothers for 5 decades, and they keep on coming. We invite you to Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Neither Zach or I are the voice of the Tigers. Dave is out today. He'll be back tomorrow, though. But me and Zach Boyd, at Rack City Zach on Twitter, because he has the best handle on Twitter, I think. I mean, what a get by you, honestly. What a popular song, and there's plenty of people named Zach out there. The fact that you were able to pull that handle is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was a group effort. I can't take all the credit. I can't. I have to give credit to our good friend CJ Hurt.
CJ got it for
CJ.
He put you on the Rack City Zach
He
Twitter
put me
handle.
on, yeah, CJ was definitely was a part of it. Also, our good friend Tyler Springs was there as well. So I gotta give credit to them because they kind of started churning the pot a little bit, and then that's how we kind of landed on it.
Well, we have breaking news here. Zach Kleiman, the GM of the Memphis Grizzlies, has been named the Executive of the Year. He's the youngest executive to ever win it. And I would imagine it's deservingly so, considering where they drafted Desmond Bane. And I think even more so when you've watched Brandon Clark in the playoffs here, really all season, but certainly when they had to sit Steven Adams down in that first series. The value picks that they've gotten, and also having John Morant, don't get me wrong, is a great job by Zach Kleiman drafting.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much hit on every draft, man, and that is hard to do. That is very hard to do, to hit on every single draft pick that you had coming into 2019 for the most part. So you got Ja, you got.
Are there any they missed on? Who would they have missed on? No, because Javon Carter was way before that.
Javon was before.
Way before that.
You have Ja, you have Brandon, Bane, Tillman. Killian Tilly was undrafted. Contrar was undrafted.
Oh, look at Jitty, though.
I mean, Zaire, we thought Zaire was like, okay, he might be a project. But yeah. Zaire.
He's contributed immediately.
Put meaningful minutes in the playoffs. Like Santi's still to be determined. But from the regular season little glimpses, like, he looks like he could be a player.
Didn't they draft DeLon Wright, too? Didn't Kleiman draft DeLon Wright, or was that before him?
No, that was before.
That was before? Well, I love DeLon Wright, too, so I was going to give him credit for that, too.
DeLon Wright was drafted by the Raptors.
I was going to give him.
Yeah, so, and then also, like the smart decisions, like looking towards the future, trading Jonas for Steven Adams, and, like, to go up to get Zaire.
Oh,
number
great
10.
point. I didn't even think about that.
Like-
You're absolutely right. He runs your offense this year, Steven Adams does. They
Yeah.
ran it through him. A totally different team that makes him with Steven Adams. No, he deserves credit for
Yeah,
that, too.
and then the fact that you was this successful, and you got cap space to play with, and 2 first-round picks, and the Warriors first.
And not only cap space, and maybe luxury tax space you can go up into.
Exactly. So, like,
For
yeah.
the first time ever, the Grizzlies really going to go deep in the luxury tax. I love it, man.
Yeah, it's been it's definitely been a minute. I don't is he the first one in our in the history?
I really don't know. I'm just guessing, but I don't remember a time. I mean, I can't think of a roster that they would have had to go deep into the luxury tax for. Maybe they've dipped their toe into it, but I can't imagine. There's not been a whole lot of marquee guys that are making a ton of money, I don't think, that have re-upped here. Well, maybe, honestly, maybe when they re-signed Mark and Mike, maybe they were in it a little bit, but the rest of the team I don't think was making much. Yeah, we'll look at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Colby Altman of the Cavs and Arturas, there's no way I'm going to pronounce this correctly.
Yeah, that's the Bulls. That's the Bulls GM.
Arturas Karnisovas, maybe I did say it right, of the Bulls. They tied for second place. I guess they got the same amount of votes or something.
Yeah.
By the way, Kleiman got 16 of the 29 first place votes. And then the Suns GM, James Jones, and Pat Riley for the Heat tied for fourth place. Wow, so there's a lot of ties going on here.
Yeah.
Tied for second, tied for fourth. But it doesn't matter because Zach Kleiman didn't tie, and he won Executive of the Year. Well-deserved. Like I said, youngest ever executive winner. How old is Kleiman? He's a 33-year-old. Wow. Really young guy.
He's 33?
He's 33 years old.
My God.
Making all these decisions. How about that?
My God.
Crazy,
I'm
man.
not that far from him.
Zach, I almost called you John. You were not John Harden.
I am not.
Zach, last night there was also another series played, believe it or not, that was not the Grizzlies and the Warriors. It was the Bucks and the Celtics. And I was watching this game last night, and I got a little bit excited. First of all, an incredible comeback by the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
That was unbelievable. How much? They were down 7, 8. I don't know how much. 10 at one point.
Well, like 3 minutes to go or something like that?
Crazy comeback. Giannis goes crazy. It was like the reverse, but in a much shorter time period of what happened the game before in Game 4 when Al Horford got mad and turned it on. Well, this was like Giannis and Drew Holiday both got mad and turned it on going the other way. It was an incredible performance last night. But it got me thinking that I got a little game to play here. Because, you know the game True or False you play where you have a statement and you decide if it's true or false, Zach. It's a classic.
Right.
I've got a new game for you. It's called Drew or False for Drew Holiday, okay? So Drew or False. I'm going to ask you a question that relates to Drew Holiday, and you tell me Drew or False. And then after your answer, I'm going to play a little sound.
Are these personal questions of Drew, of his life?
Well, it's really only one question, but it depends on how you answer the first question. I might have a follow-up second question, okay? So it's really a short game. It's not a big, robust game, okay?
Let's do it.
So Drew or False, Zach? Drew Holiday is a top 5 defender in the NBA.
Top 5.
Drew Holiday. I've got some playoff stats while you think about it here, okay? This is just playoffs, not regular season, so it doesn't always account for that. But in the playoffs, according to Synergy, Drew Holiday is allowing his opponents on all defensive matchups shooting only 32%, which ranks in the top 20% in the league. Very good rating, which there's very good is the second best you can be. Excellent is the best. That's the grading scale here on Synergy. 39 for 122 people are shooting against him, but that does not tell the full story. On catch and shoot shots, catch and shoot against Drew Holiday in the playoffs. When he gets a hand, when the shot is contested, teams are shooting 4 of 25 when he's guarding them, 16%. That's incredible. On three-point shots when he's guarding them, 18 of 66, which is 27%. And if you try and isolate Drew Holiday in the playoffs, no one scored against him. 0 of 6 against Drew Holiday because no one's taking him one-on-one. And if you try to, teams are 0 and 6 going against him.
Okay, before I answer this question, is this based off of guards or all defensive
That's
players?
all defensive players there.
Okay.
And also one more, I forgot to even say this one. So if he's involved in a pick and roll or a pick and pop, if he's guarding the ball handler on a screen, teams are only shooting, the guy with the ball is only shooting 35.7% with a screen to help him. 15 of 42 against him. That's incredible as well. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he's
Elite.
top 5.
Elite,
He's
top 5.
Easily. Like he was annoying with the Pelicans when Ja first came into the league.
Oh yeah, man.
'Cause
When
it
it was
was
Lonzo was the point guard. No, it had Rondo. It was Drew Holiday. It was I can't remember who else was on that team.
It was almost like a personal vendetta for Drew Holiday to make Ja game or
Welcome
that
to the
game
league.
a living nightmare.
Welcome to the league, young fella.
But yeah, like I believe everything. Drew is he's top 5.
Oh wow, so you say Drew.
Drew is
So Drew is your answer. That's the noise I play when you answer the question there. So Drew, okay, one more follow-up question.
Where's
then.
the money at, man?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like the price is right. Okay, second follow-up question here. Is Drew Holiday the best? Okay, I'll just say perimeter. Is Drew Holiday the best perimeter defender in the league? True or false?
Because Mikal Bridges is up there.
That's what I'm saying. Here's Mikal's up there. You got to put probably DeJounte Murray in that conversation. Even Garland is guarding really well on the perimeter. I don't know if they're better than Drew Holiday. These are just names I was thinking of with defense. Marcus Smart just won Player of the Year, but that's also because his team was so good at defense too. Not that he's a bad defender, but he won Player of the Year. But like you said, Mikal Bridges.
I would say not,
but close.
But yeah, it's very close because I think Mikal is probably the better perimeter defender.
Good answer. I agree. I think you answered them the exact same way I would answer them, so you played the game perfectly there, Zach. Not that I'm always right. But but it worked. My idea for playing the sounds worked perfectly with the way you had your answers there.
Okay, because
it was excellent.
Because, again, like Mikal is 6'8", 6'9", with long arms, and he's like very mobile on the perimeter. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to shoot over that dude, but Drew's on-ball defense is like it's very hard to get around.
I think Mikal Bridges is incredible too because I certainly think he's got a great offensive game and he can score if he needs to. He's also playing with Devin Booker and Chris Paul, so he doesn't always have to score. But he sometimes will just take single-digit shots, will miss a shot on the other end, and then have to sprint down the court and pick up Luka at half court because he's guarding Luka every possession because he's such a good perimeter defender. I think that's a good answer. Mikal Bridges is a good answer for that one. Not a huge night last night. Back to the Celtics. That was the end of that game. Back to the Celtics-Bucks last night. Still, regardless of losing the game, an incredible performance for Jason Tatum, which is unbelievable. He had one pull-up jump shot at like the elbow. It was contested. Oh, no, this is what it was. It was someone coming to set a ball screen for him, and he gets up there, and there was a little bit of confusion between Bobby Portis and Giannis guarding the ball screen. There's just like one step of indecision, and that one step is all it takes for Jason Tatum to shoot an off-balance jump shot, nothing but the bottom of the net. Maybe I didn't do it justice describing it, but it's an unbelievable skill set that I marvel at every time I watch him. Is he an MVP candidate?
Tatum, yes, he was this year.
He was?
This year. I mean...
Do you think he's like a consistent, like every year before the season when we're talking preseason here, looking at MVP candidates, you think we can look at Jason Tatum?
I mean, he can be, but everything depends on how this team is structured around him.
Right, and how the season
goes.
And he and Jaylen Brown, honestly, were struggling for a lot of the year trying to mesh together, too, a little bit as well.
Yeah, because they need a point guard. They need an actual point guard.
Not just a Marcus Smart, you're saying?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm more sure, like, Smart can run the team, and you kind of saw it down the stretch of him running the team.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually
took over.
They actually need a guy to run and, like, organize everything.
That's right.
So
no, I agree with you. It's good to have – you want to be able to run a structured breakdown offense and then have guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to make every shot down the stretch of a game. But that actually leads me to a great idea here, Zach. We have to take a break now. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the MVP club and who's on the pass list to get into the MVP club. It sounds like Jason Tatum is. We'll find out who else is.
Is this future or the past?
Well, this is a club. Well, I'll explain it more after the break. It's a club you have to get into. There's a pass list. You know how clubs work, Zach. There's a bouncer. He's got this clipboard here. It has a list of names on it.
We're gonna Adam Silver outside.
Exactly. So Adam's a perfect example. Adam Silver outside the club with the clipboard. So we're gonna find out which names are on that list when we come back. Sports 56 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe, and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned? How about a safety inspection? Right now, Conway Service is offering our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $69. That's right, for only $69, we'll come out and perform our 16-point energy-saving Super Tune-Up on your heating system. We'll also include a complete safety inspection using our state-of-the-art camera system, making sure your heating system is safe to operate this winter. Plus, we'll run a carbon monoxide test on your heating system, all for only $69. You can have the peace of mind knowing your heating system is safe and ready for those cold winter nights. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. Call this week, and we'll perform your heating system tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Let's say you need a new car, so you go to a dealer, right? Wrong. You need to go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales. Why? Because why limit yourself to just one kind of car when you can choose from all kinds of cars, SUVs, and trucks? All different years, all different makes, all different models. Really good prices, too. Now, everyone says that about the money, but Mount Moriah Auto Sales proves it. They work hard to get you the deal you want, even financing. Plus, they have a huge full-service department to help you take care of your car. So many choices at Mount Moriah Auto Sales. They're almost unlimited, with new vehicles coming in every day. Now, these are really good cars and trucks and SUVs that you'll want to drive. And yes, low miles too. It's so easy. Just go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales, tell them what you want, but keep your eyes open, because you might just find the car of your dreams. Mount Moriah Auto Sales makes it all possible. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner, right on the price, right on Mount Moriah.
Memphis is synonymous with barbecue, and there's a place on Fox Plaza Drive that's been doing barbecue since 1922, Leonard's Pit Barbecue. Now, the place itself has undergone numerous changes since then, but the food has always remained the same. If you ate at Leonard's back in the day, you'll be glad to know it still tastes the same. Lunch every day of the week, catering for events. If you need barbecue, call the place that was first in Memphis, Leonard's Barbecue, on Fox Plaza Drive between Mount Moriah and South Mendenhall. Call 901-360-1963.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Something you probably do know. Progressive can not only offer you a great price when you bundle home and auto, they offer you round-the-clock protection. Something you probably don't know, the average garage door is made up of 1.3 millimeter aluminum panels. Something you probably do know, your neighbor likes to tinker with his dirt bike. Something you probably don't know, a runaway dirt bike can take out your garage door and a good portion of your car bumper. Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and get more than a great price. Get round-the-clock protection. Something you know for the things you don't know. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Dave is not here today. He is out. So I am not the voice of the Tigers. I'm Jay Morgan. That's the Rack City Zach Boyd, in the studio with me here. I think we should probably read, Zach, that Family Leisure thing that's sitting in front of you there, because we're in the Family Leisure studio.
We are. Where family and fun come together.
Yeah.
You got vacation homes for sale. Also enjoy time with your family in your own backyard. Play gyms and trampolines, $500 off.
Wow.
Hot tubs in stock and ready to go, up to $1,000 off when pick up. Just do it yourself.
Do it yourself. You would save $1,000.
Yeah, save up to $150 on all in stock pools when you pick up the pool and install it yourself. Patio furniture's in stock and ready to be picked up as well. Oh. Family Leisure, 2120 Wooden Road, just north of I-40.
Wow, so if you want any of that stuff and you are willing to do it yourself, you could save some big money, it sounds like.
Listen, the weather is getting hot.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you need a little outdoor pool?
It is the perfect time to go get you a pool.
It really is.
So go get you one, 2120 Wooden Road.
I saw on Twitter, this is no one of note or anything, it's just one of my buddies on Twitter. They're talking about the new Liberty Bowl Stadium with the beautiful new facility they have that I would liken to SoFi Stadium. And someone asked if they're going to renovate the plumbing in addition to all the outdoor renovations. Because sometimes, Zach, you go in the restroom at the Liberty Bowl Stadium and there's a little gift left over in the toilets from someone previous. And so really the question here is, are we going to fix that with the new Liberty Bowl Stadium?
Yes.
You would think some amount of the $200 million is going to go to fix the plumbing.
Here's the thing. I'm surprised you're willing to risk going to the bathroom.
Honestly, at the Liberty Bowl, hold it until you go somewhere else.
Don't get me wrong. I like if I need to go, I will go.
Right.
But there are certain areas, especially like big venue, big public areas, where it's like, I'm good. I try to hold on as much as I can, try to get home, and then take care of it.
Outdoor sports is pretty much consistent for me. Whether it's football, a baseball game, you at AutoZone Park, no, I'm not using that bathroom.
No,
no, thank you.
I'll
wait.
You treat them as road trips. You take care of it before you get there.
That's right.
You take care of it before you get there, so it won't be a problem.
All right, we're running out of time here, and I came up with two ideas today. Well, first one was true or false. We already did that. The second one I stole from Amin El Hassan and Zach Harper on NBA Radio on SiriusXM, so I want to credit them because I ripped this segment off completely from what they do.
Oh, you didn't rip it off. You just...
I repurposed it.
Yeah.
That's right. It's called the MVP Club, Zach, and the MVP Club is a beautiful club. I like the picture you painted. Adam Silver in his bald majesticness standing outside the club with a clipboard, and he's got a list of names on it, and this is the pass list here. And in order to get into the MVP Club and be in this conversation, you have to be on the pass list. So names that are probably certainly on the pass list, you've got Giannis. Mm-hmm. You've got Embiid, and you've got Jokic, who just won back-to-back MVP, so he's certainly on the pass list. I would probably put Luka on the pass list, and then you got the names that will always be on it forever, right? Like the KDs and the LeBrons and stuff like that. But we got some new names here, and we got to figure out if they're on the pass list. So we talked about Jason Tatum. You think Jason Tatum's on the pass list? He could. The gauge that I have is, can this guy kind of do it on both ends and be the best player on his team and make a run for a championship? So is Jason Tatum that guy, Zach?
He is. It's just dependent on his team.
On what they got around. Is Jaylen Brown that guy, you think? He's on the same team, so, I mean, but they're kind of,
As MVP?
Would he be on the MVP Club pass list?
Probably not.
Probably not. But is he close? Is he on, like, the outside looking in, maybe?
Definitely outside.
Definitely outside.
Everything's really dependent on, like, how big of a leap that he wants to take.
That's a good point, too. Okay, what about Devin Booker? Devin Booker, obviously the Suns are the 1 seed. They have Chris Paul. Maybe, like I said, I think he's the best point guard I've ever seen. But people can contend. He's certainly up there. Is Devin Booker in that MVP Club conversation? Is he on the pass list?
He is on the list.
He's on the list as well.
He's on the list. I give it to him.
I think so, too. He can do it. He took a big step this year doing it on both ends for one thing, doing it on offense and defense. And also, he is leading a 1 seed and is the leading scorer on their team.
Right. And then that stretch where Chris Paul was out.
Doing it by himself.
He was doing it by himself as well. So that kind of shows that, okay, like he has stepped up his game a little bit. So it's like, he's on the list. Next year's MVP list.
And I was going to ask a follow-up, but then I looked at the clock and we don't have time. 2 more real quick.
Now,
Jimmy Butler.
No.
No, not on the MVP club pass list.
No.
Why not? What's he need to do?
I don't know.
Is there anything he can do?
I'm obviously like.
He's the best player on a 1 seed in the East.
He's the best player, but how big of an impact is he?
Well, I mean, on both ends, though, he does. Certainly on the defensive end more than offense, I think. He's an elite defender. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
I think a point to maybe keeping him off would be Tyler Hero takes a lot of late-game shots for them, and Jimmy Butler doesn't. And that's maybe what you're looking for when you look at MVP.
Because you got to put up points if you're MVP, because your team is going to need you.
Game-winning points, too. Points to win the game.
And like Jimmy has done that before.
He had 40 a couple times in the playoffs for one thing.
Right. I guess it's not as consistent as we like to see.
Right.
Because he has been impactful, but it's just not as consistent.
To your point, a lot of games in the regular season, single-digit points, kind of taking a back seat on certain nights.
But his teammates are stepping up.
And they're the 1 seed in the East.
Yeah.
All right, one more here. This is the big one. John Morant.
Of course.
In the club.
That's no doubt.
No doubt in the club.
No doubt. Like that stretch in January, December,
Wow,
January,
you're putting
February.
John and not Jimmy Butler in.
Like Ja was taking like he was taking over.
He was.
He was taking over right before All-Star break. And he was actually number 2 behind Embiid before Jokic came in and kind of
took over
everything else.
Would you have given, this is a totally different question, but the great MVP, that was fun. Totally different question, though. Would you have given, if you had a vote, would you have voted for Jokic? Would you have voted for Embiid? Would you have voted for Giannis? Or something totally different? And don't say Ja just because you're a Grizzlies fan.
No, because this is something I was kind of battling with myself the last few days when they announced it, that Jokic won. I would have gave it to Embiid.
So would I.
I would personally give it to Embiid.
But Jokic's numbers are unlike anyone else's ever.
He is, and everybody kept saying like he didn't have teammates. I mean, yeah, that's true, but Embiid didn't have really teammates either. Like, if you really think about it.
So much so that they had to trade for new teams.
Yeah, trade
I love Tobias, so I don't want to badmouth him or Maxey or anything like that.
No, like, they stepped up when you needed them, but how big of a jump is Tobias Harris to Aaron Gordon or Tyrese Maxey to Will Barton or Monte Morris?
It's not like he has a lot more. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Big injury, though, too. But that's it for us here on Wolo and Friends. Thank you to Rack City Zach Boyd. Follow him on Twitter. I'm Jay Morgan Harder. Johnny Radio is next.
Ooh.
Don't go anywhere. We'll see you tomorrow. No, actually, we won't see you tomorrow.
No.
We'll see you another time, though.
When you think about it,